Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting after Carlisle of won 2-1 at home to Burton Albion, and oh my god, how good does it feel to be saying that. Look, it's a win that we needed, and it's a win that we absolutely deserved after the heartbreak of last week, and also the performance we put in this week. And look, to be 100% honest with you, there's still frustration to come from this game, because we probably should have been 2 or 3 up at half-time. And we go into half-time 1-0 down, and look, even though we went on to win the game, I think there is still some worries to come from that first half, where we're so dominant, and we can't score at all. And look, I'm not going to complain too much, because we won. But, you know, a decent enough striker would have put 2 or 3 of those away. But, yeah, moving on to the more positive parts of the game, you go into the second half, you're 1-0 down, you don't deserve to be. And I love how angry the players seem to feel with how things were going. Because, look, they know that they should be at least 2 up at half-time. And they've gone in 1-0 down. And quite quickly in the second half, we get things back our way. And we finally get things, back level. It's a decent goal across. Jordan Gibson scores another goal. He's our top goal scorer this season. And he's playing really well. And he deserves these goals that are coming now. Again, another great performance from him, even without the goal. And then later on, Joe Garner gets the chance. Joe Garner scores. I think it's really well worked from Jordan Gibson again, and from Terry Ablade, or Blade, however you want to pronounce it. Get it back to Joe Garner, and he's there in the right place, and we managed to score. And that's the kind of goal that I was complaining last week we don't score enough of, where it's a cross, it's a, squared across the box. It's just a well-worked goal, and it's an average goal that teams score routinely, and I think that we need to start scoring routinely. And it's the kind of goal we don't score enough of, and I'm so happy that we scored it like that. And I'm so happy that it's gone in the 80-odd minute for us to win the game. Absolutely fantastic. And look, we deserved it for that performance. I think Burton Albion, despite being one of the most informed teams in the country at the minute, they haven't lost since early September, and they come to Burton Park, and we've played them off the park, and we deserve to win. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but we deserve to be at least 2 or 3 up, even in the first half alone. And then in the second half, I don't think we played as well as we did in the first half, but we do eventually come away with the win, which we so deserve for the performance we've put in. And look, I think we just get somebody to start getting on the end of these, these opportunities. I think we'll go flying right up the table, and we've got a good opportunity to, improve our position next week against Cambridge, who, if we beat, we can go above, which puts us a nice, good gap between us and the relegation zone. Because, look, I know we're outside of the relegation zone, I know we're just above the red zone, but with Wigan being down there on a positive goal difference, I think you're a fool if you think that they're going to be there for the remainder of the season. So we need to start getting some more teams below us, in the event that Wigan do get a few wins together. They've got a positive goal difference. They're not down there through performance, they're down there because of off-the-pitch issues and points deductions. But yeah, look, another performance I want to talk about is Butterworth's, because I think, look, a lot of things have been said about him. He's one that, until fairly recently, I expected to be gone in January. He hasn't played. He reminds me a little bit of when Mellish first came into the team. Mellish played particularly well. He scored a hat-trick in a reserve game, and then Chris Beach decided to give him a run in the first team after, previously being out of the team. And the same thing's happened with Butterworth. Not quite hat-trick, but 2 goals in a reserve game against Blackpool. He then gets the opportunity in the first team against Portsmouth. I think he plays well. He's very unlucky not to score in that game. And then he gets to start this week through an Alfie McCallum injury, and I think he's one of our best players on the pitch. You've got to give man of the match to Jordan Gibson, I think, being so heavily involved in both goals and obviously being really good throughout the game. But barring him, I think Danny Butterworth's probably our player of the match today. And I think I was very upset that they took him off, but I understand it, because I think he hasn't played 90 minutes in a long time, and I think he did look a little bit tired when we took him off towards the end of the game. But it's a sub that I was disappointed to see make, and he got a standing ovation, and he definitely deserved it. He's one that he has got to be in the team next week, which is unfortunate, because maybe he keeps McCallum out of the team, and I don't think he necessarily deserves to be dropped. He is going to be fit again by the end of this week, so it's a matter of, do you maybe drop Sean Maguire? Because in my opinion, that's the one that, you know, in that front line is performing at the lowest standard. Do we put Alfie McAlmont back into the midfield, put Butterworth up top? I don't know, that's a problem Paul Simpson now has. But they're nice problems to have when players come into the team and play really well, and you've got multiple players fighting for the same position. It's a problem that Paul Simpson will want to have, and it's one that, you know, it makes predicting the lineup very unpredictable. But yeah, it's just so nice to be talking about a win for once. And look, if we perform like that a good few times this season, I think we'll be fine, because, you know, a lot of teams will feel lucky to have come away with points from us this season, and there was parts of that game where I thought Burton were going to be the same, because look, Burton must have something about them to be where they are in the league and to be in the form they're in previous to this match. But they've got to be one of the worst performing teams I've seen come to Carlisle. They got one shot, scored from it, and you think, great, here we go again, but we were all over them in the first half. We absolutely battered them, and I think they'll feel very lucky, even coming out of this game losing, just to have not got absolutely smashed 3-4-0, and to even get a goal. I think they'll be lucky. They'll think themselves lucky because they didn't deserve it. It was massively against the run of play. And yeah, it's just nice to be so positive about a Carlisle result for once. It's nice for us to have scored 2 goals, and I think it's really great that our strikers are getting on the score sheet again. Joe Garner, I think, you know, if you'd have told me Joe Garner would be the answer to our striking problems at the start of this season, I'd have called you mental, and probably rightfully so at the time. But he has proved himself to be a great addition to this team, and as Paul Simpson said, he's getting his love back for football, and an informed Joe Garner is a very dangerous proposition for any League One side. I still think we need that big nasty centre forward next to him up top, but for the time being, to see us through to January, I think Joe Garner probably is the answer. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Who would you start in the front line in the midfield next week? Because that will be the talking point, I think. And yeah, let me know what you think. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and in a bit.